In this video, we'll look at some different strategies for multiplying decimals. The first strategy we're going to look at is estimation. So we'll just round these two numbers that we're trying to multiply to whole numbers in order to get an estimate of the answer. So I'm going to round 19 7/8 to the closest whole number, which would be 20. And then I'll round 4 23/100 to the closest whole number, which would be 4. So I'm going to estimate this as 20 times 4, which is equal to 80. So the answer to 19 7/8 multiplied by 4 23/100 would be close to 80. The next strategy we'll look at is using base 10 blocks to multiply decimals. So I'm multiplying 2 1/10 by 1 4/10. So I'm going to make a rectangle array with my base 10 blocks to help me to figure out the answer. So I've let a flat be equal to 1, and rods are equal to tenths, and cubes would be equal to hundredths. So the width of this rectangle is 1 4/10. The length of the rectangle is 2 1/10. So now I've filled in this empty space with the rods and cubes that are necessary to make this a rectangle. And now I just need to count the blocks in my rectangular array to find the answer to this problem. So I have 1, 2, and I have, let's count the tenths next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 9/10. And I have 4 hundredths. So 2 1/10 multiplied by 1 4/10 equals 2 94/100. Another strategy I have for multiplying decimals is to break up the numbers and multiply each part in an array. So I'm going to partition the 3 7/10 as 3 plus 7/10, and 2 4/10 will be 2 plus 4/10. Now in each box in my array, I'm going to multiply the numbers that would both be in that box. And then I'll add the products in all these boxes together in order to get my final answer. First I'll multiply 2 by 3, which would give me 6. Next I'll multiply 2 by 7/10, which would give me 1 4/10. Then 3 by 4/10, which would be 1 2/10. And lastly, 4/10 by 7/10, which would be 28/100. When I add the product in each of the arrays, it gives me a product for 3 7/10 by 2 4/10 of 8 88/100. The last strategy we'll look at is more like the paper pencil method. So in order to make sure that our answer is accurate, it's always good to estimate first. So we'll round these two numbers to whole numbers, and then we'll get an estimate of where our answer should be close to. So 7 6/10 rounds to 8, and 4 3/10 rounds to 4. 8 times 4 equals 32. So our answer is somewhere close to 32. Now we'll multiply 76 by 43, just forgetting that we have decimal numbers for now, because we'll be able to use our estimate of 32 to know where the decimal goes in the product. So I'm going to multiply each part together. So I'll do 70 by 40 first. 7 times 4 is 28. So 70 times 40 would be 2,800. Next, 70 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. So 70 times 3 would be 210. 6 times 40. 6 times 4 is 24. So it would be 240. And then finally 6 times 3 is 18. Now I just have to add these products together to get the final product. So the sum is 3,268. I know my answer has to be somewhat close to 32, so 7 6/10 multiplied by 4 3/10 would be 32 and 68 hundredths.